So PLL is the final step to solving the Rubik's Cube. There's a total of 21 cases, but I suggest learning beginner PLL first, which consists of 6 cases. So here's the first one, it's the AA, and there's headlights right here. This is adjacent to this, and there's like a little bar right here. And when you get this, you want to hold it to where it's in the back, and this left bar is on the left. And you do X, R prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R prime, D2, R2, X prime, and then just AUF. So next one is the AB. So there's headlights right here, and they're not adjacent again, but the difference is that it's not in the back now, it's on the right. And you'd hold it like this again to where it's on the left, on the front left, and you hold these on the right, and you do X, R2, D2, RU, R prime, D2, RU prime, R, and then X prime, and then AUF. So this is the E perm, and it's where all the edges are aligned, but all the corners are not. There's not one that's aligned. So you could find it like this, so you have to align it, and you find a corner on the right side facing you, and the edge on the right has to be the same color. So this wouldn't be it, but this would. So you hold it like this, do X prime, R, U prime, R prime, D, R, U, R prime, D prime, R, U, R prime, D, R, U prime, R prime, D prime, and just X. So next one is the F perm. It's where there's a bar, a whole bar, right here on the left, and there's not in any other place. So you hold this to the left and do R prime, U prime, F prime, R U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U, R U, R prime, U, R. So the next algorithm is GA perm, and what you do, there's headlights on the left, and the middle one isn't adjacent. And you'd hold the bar on the right. There's 2 blocks. And you do R2, U, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R2, D, U prime, R prime, U, R, D prime. And that's awesome. So the next one is GB perm. And it has headlights on the left, and the edge piece is the opposite of the corner pieces. And instead, like the GA perm of having the colors matching right here, it's right here on the right, but on the back right here. And what I do is R prime, U prime, R, U, D prime, R2, U, R prime, U, R, U prime, R, U prime, R2, D. This is the next one, and it's called the GC perm. It has headlights on the left again. This is adjacent from these colors, so it's not opposite. And instead of the bar being here like the GA or the GB, it being right here, it's back here. In the back right here. So what you do is R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R, U, R prime, U, R2, D prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, D. This one is GD perm. It's where there's headlights right here. This is opposite to the corners. And instead of it being right here, right here, or right here, it's on the front side, right here, instead of right here. So this is what you do. It's R, U, R prime, U prime, D, R2, U prime R, U prime R prime U, R prime U, R2 D prime. This is what it looks like fast. I messed up. Next up is H perm. It's my second favorite algorithm. It's where every single side has the corners oriented except the edges, and they're all opposites to the corners. So instead of being orange, it's opposite. It's red, green, blue. So you could hold it from wherever. I do M2, U prime, M2, U2, M2, U prime, M2. Next up is JB perm. It has a it has a bar right here, and then one right here. So it's like it's kind of like a J, but instead it's on the left side, like this. And what you do is hold it like this, where it's a bar right here, and then this in the back. And then do Y2, X, R2, F, R, F prime, R, U2, R prime, U, R, U2, and then X prime. Next up is JB perm. It's a bar again, and it's a J, but instead it has the bar on the front side. Instead of it being right here, it's right here. And you'd hold it like this, and you do R, U, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, and then do the AUF. Next up is N perm, which is kind of bad. It's where the opposites are in the back. So right here, it's like this, like this. It's always in the back. And you'd hold it like this, how I'm holding it right now, where the opposite is in the back right here, and there's a bar right here. What you do is R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U2, R, U prime, R prime. Next up is NB perm. It's like the NA perm, but instead everything is opposite. So the opposites are right here, but they're right here, in front, right here. And you hold it like I'm holding it right now, and do R prime, D prime, F, R, U prime, R prime, F prime, D, R2, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. Next up is RA perm. And how you look at it is where there's two headlights again. This one's not adjacent, and there's a bar right here, but not over here. It's just on the right side, right here. You'd hold it like I'm holding it right now, and do R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R, D, R prime, U prime, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime, and AUF. Next up is RB perm. The headlights again right here. This is not adjacent, but this is connected. This time on the left instead of the right. So this is how you do it. You go hold it like this and do R, U2, R, U2, R prime, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F prime, R2, and AUF. Next up is D perm. It's like two R perms combined. So there's headlights, this is opposite, there's one on this side and one on this side. It looks like this. And how you do it is R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. Next up is UA perm. It's where there's one side solved already. This edge has to go to the left. So it's rotating this one to here, this one to here, and this one to here. And how you do it is M2, U prime, M, U2, M prime, U prime, M2. Next up is the UB perm. like the mirrored of the UA perm. This one has to go right here, this one has to go right here, and this one has to go right here. How do you do it is M2, U prime, M, U2, M prime, U prime, U, M2. That's it. It's the worst algorithm. This is V prime, and it's trash. You hold it like this. It's like the A perms, where there's a little thing right here, but instead there's no headlights. So you just hold it like this in the front left, and you do R prime U, R prime U prime, R D prime, R prime D, R prime U, D prime, R2, U prime, R2, D, R2. So bad, right? Next up is the Y perm. It's where this is opposite of this side, this is opposite of this side, and the others are just random. So it looks like this. And you do this. F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. Oops, this is Z perm. This is not an H perm, by the way. These edges have to swap like this, not like this. So how you hold it is the edge that has to swap is on the right. And you do M prime, U prime, M2, U prime, M2, U prime, M prime, U2, M2, and then the AUF. So thanks so much for watching. I got these algorithms from speedcubedb. So if y'all want the PDF version, it's gonna be in the description. Peace.